Hey, I'm Allana Pratt and welcome to Intimate Conversations. And before we dive into the interview, I just wanted you to know that after helping singles and couples for the past 20 years, I've discovered that most intimacy struggles come down to a few common blind spots that once healed allow vulnerable, authentic relationships to thrive. Discover your blind spot today at my website, allanapratt.com. And for now, sit back, relax, because it's time to get intimate. Enjoy the show. Hello, my delicious friends, and welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations with a hero of mine as I began my journey as an intimacy expert, the amazing Dr. John Gray. You all know him, the author of the most well-known and trusted relationship book of all time, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. USA Today listed his book, get this, as one of the top 10 most influential books in the last quarter century. Wow. In hardcover, it was #1 best-selling book in the 90s, and his books are translated into over 45 languages, 100 countries, and it continues today to be a bestseller. And his most recent book, of which 20 he has written, is Beyond Mars and Venus, a book series. This Mars-Venus book series has forever changed the way men and women look at relationships. And John really helps men and women better understand and respect differences in both personal and professional relationships. And his approach combines a specific communication techniques with also healthy nutritional choices. So we really get the brain and body chemistry working for lasting health, happiness, and romance. And we are going to be talking today about an upcoming retreat, seminar actually, a 3-day relationship seminar, October 11th, 12th, and 13th in Corte Madera. And I'd like you just right now to be able to write down, it'll be all in the show notes below, but if you go to www.marsvenus.com/list/events. And then also from being on this interview today, if you use the discount code 25soulmate, all in capitals, the number 25 soulmate, you will get a 25% off. So we will talk more about that later. But I am so grateful you are here. You are so popular, so successful, and yet you're taking the time to talk to me and my community today. John, why did you say yes to this interview? Why are we here? Why does that move your soul?
Well, people always ask me why I continue doing this. I've been doing it 40 years on Mars. Yes, it's a big journey. I was doing it 12 years before I wrote that book. And, people say, don't you get tired of this? And it's evolving. We as a community, as a culture, we're evolving. So it continues to change. Men are still men, women are still women. But our needs are changing. The direction we need to go in is changing to be our authentic self. So it's it's my own personal journey. All my books are really talking about my personal journey of loss, of success, of dating, of sex, of so many parenting, so many different aspects of relationship.
Yeah.
As you have higher consciousness, you experience a oneness.
Yes.
And when you experience oneness, you're in relationship with everything.
Yes.
See, when I relate with you, I get to relate to a part of me that I didn't know. So I expand. So that's what connection is when you feel one with others, which can be through empathy, through admiration, through resonance, so many different ways we can connect.
Yeah.
And when you connect, then you find a part of yourself that you weren't in touch with. Everything. I go out on a beautiful day. Okay, now myself is changing. I'm all of this.
Yeah.
It's intimacy, which is our topic today. It's really changed my life. I was in my teenage years, I was very sexually active. So I want to set that up. I love sex. But then I became a pure celibate. I didn't masturbate, didn't have relationships for 9 years with my group. So, and I found out later all the other monks were actually busy.
Oh my God, news to John.
I really did it, and I prospered from it. He said I was enlightened. He wanted me to follow up the TM movement. I left at that point. Wow. I needed to find my own thing because it wasn't complete. One thing is finding yourself. Okay, so I was, for a while I was in God consciousness where all women were God. I was making love to all these women. Because if you've been celibate for 9 years, all you think about is sex.
Well, yeah.
And then I learned in practical sense what I didn't know about women. So I started teaching classes on enlightened sexuality.
Wow.
enlightened sexuality is having sex to generate more love and oneness.
Yeah.
The beginning stage for people is having sex should always be to generate the feeling of love through the intimacy that precedes it and happens during it. Then what happens is then it becomes an invitation for the gods to come in. All the angels want to come and enjoy the energy of the human world having orgasmic sex. This is being multi-orgasmic hours of orgasms. And this is all possible. For me, it was, I used to meditate 15 hours, 16 hours a day.
No way.
In a kind of spiritual orgasmic.
Yes.
My body would just go like this for hours and hours with no thought and just ecstasy.
Yes.
With ecstasy outside the body. There's energy flowing through my body, but more of me was the one with the cosmos.
Yes.
But to bring the cosmos into the body is one of our major purposes in this world besides service. We bring it into the body so we can be of service and bring the light into the planet. And the highest level of that is making love and then taking it to a higher level of oneness. And ironically, as a yogi, you learn to detach and not be attached to outcomes and everything. But the experience of ecstatic spiritual sex is a surrender, which is I am yours, you are mine. There's an attachment. We are one. I mean, you are me. Okay. It's like you're mine, you're myself, I'm yourself, and we are one together forever, which is people get a glimpse of that when they fall in love. When people fall in love, they go, oh, it's going to be forever. We're never going to part, and hopefully that can be forever, particularly if you have a family and you have great sex and good communication, you can have that forever. Yeah. Because when you have that sense of forever, that is the higher center of eternal, timelessness. We are one in that place forever. But that is the orgasmic spiritual experience of first surrendering and then coming to that place of I'm yours, you're mine. I just love that feeling. And it goes against all of the learning to detach from the body, going out, now bringing it back all in and being actually one. And that's what the polarity of male-female energies can produce. And that's the possibilities.
Okay, I had no idea we were going to go straight to enlightened sex. I'm loving this. Okay. So when I
don't get a chance to talk about
I'm so excited.
Seminars, I gotta stick with the, men this way, women that way, which is great stuff. But you said
this is not the Today Show. So okay, so when I get really quiet, John, and I've had my moments of ecstasy, not 15 hours a day of it, but when my purpose is the embodiment, the delicious embodiment of God consciousness. I know I can taste that. I know what that's like. And my job has been able to show people how they can have that, live that 24/7, being, penetrated by the universe, making love with the universe, and then bring that into relationship. So how, and because I totally get what you're talking about, I love it. How can we teach people to surrender, let this happen 24/7 through them to the best of their ability, and then bring that into partnership when they're not even inside, they're seeking on the outside? Will you leave me like the last one did? Will you reject me like the last one did? Will I walk in on you and my best friend like I did with my last one? Like how can we help them to stay inside, have this with the universe, and then invite it with a partner?
Well, you just asked a lifetime journey right there.
We got 40 minutes.
I'm 68. I'm still figuring it out, So, but we do have 40 minutes to solve the problems of the universe. Let's scan, okay? And then I want to give some practical tidbits.
Yeah.
All of it and the practical stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody is different and they approach the journey in different ways. So you start where you are. And basically where a lot of people are is they want to feel love, okay? They want to feel intimacy, particularly your intimacy show, and it can be sexual intimacy. But for sexual intimacy to hit its peak, generally speaking, for a woman, she needs to have a high estrogen levels. Okay? You can't, to be orgasmic, your estrogen levels have to become 20 times higher than a man's. Now, we know that just from the point of view that orgasm takes 20 times more estrogen than a man. A man needs way testosterone to shoot up to maintain erections for a long time. Yep. And okay, so but this gets a little advanced there. So how do women come back to their estrogen side? Well, intimacy is even the word intimacy.
Yes.
That actually is female intimacy. And male intimacy is I see into you.
Yes.
Okay. That's really when a man can penetrate into a woman, he feels intimacy.
Yeah.
What does that look like in terms of outside the bedroom? It looks like me listening to you. It means you becoming vulnerable. It means you feeling so safe that you can open up and reveal your body is the physical side of it, but more vulnerable is your emotions.
Heart. Yeah.
The heart, the loving part is easy for people to show, and maybe not always after you've been hurt of it, but what is hidden every day is just like our clothes hide our body every day. What's hidden every day is our emotions.
Yeah.
And when I say our emotion, I'm talking about the women. Because women, the way to increase estrogen is to reveal emotions. The way to increase testosterone is to detach from emotions.
Oh.
So, Buddha, for example, taught detachment, giving up attachment to things. And when I was a yogi, I ate 1 cup of food a day. I slept on the floor. I meditated for hours. I observed silence for months at a time.
Wow.
Seclusion, all that cool stuff kept me, as I was opening my heart to the universe, which is female energy, my devotion. Oh, my heart was so big that I had to maintain my masculinity. And masculinity is about sacrifice. It's about disconnecting. It's about enduring. But at the same time, I'm enduring massive amounts of pleasure from the female side. Pleasure is feminine. Detachment is masculine. So these are two sides of us. Now, what's happened is in the 60s, this is again my experience of the world, because in the 60s here, I was this young guy, I had 5 brothers, and suddenly it's the 1969 Summer of Love, and I'm like meditating, incense, I've got long hair, I've got beads, I got boots, I got a belt buckle. I'm like a fashion model of hippie, and princess, all that love stuff. What was that? And demonstrating for peace. Not going to Vietnam, no matter what you're going to do. What is that? That's man going to his female side.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, women were going to their male side, support groups. We're going to be free, run the company. We're going to change the world. We're going to
earn the bras.
So this was what happened is suddenly something happened cosmically. Consciousness went up, and now we connect with spirit. When you connect with spirit, spirit is both masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
So all of us can be masculine and feminine now. And then the younger generation, oh my God, they're so confused.
Yes, yes.
Because they can be both.
Yes.
But here's the glitch. The glitch is for men, it's easier to be feminine than masculine.
How
for
so?
Women, it's easier to be feminine than masculine. Okay, feminine is me sitting in front of is playing, enjoying myself. Guys can sit for hours in front of video games. Okay, we can just sit on the couch. You're worried as a woman. This has to be done. This has to be done. The house is a mess. We got friends. We got to cook dinner. The kids need this. Your mind's going all over the place. Have to do.
Yeah, yeah, which is masculine.
You're on the couch going, give me another beer.
That's so true.
So it's easy for men to go to the female side. It's easy for women to go to the male side. You can't, I could say to my wife, honey, just relax. She can't.
Right. Right.
She's on her male side. The male side says there's a fire. I got to put it out.
Yeah. No, that's so true. You're right.
I got to do. I do. Put some. So this is our challenge today. So literally when you're out of balance, okay, when you're disconnecting from your biological, see, you're supposed to bring the divine into the body. So if you're a woman, you got to bring it into your female hormones. If you're a man, you got to bring it into your male hormones and let the female hormones come up. Okay, so it's not like I don't need female hormones. I'm happy, I enjoy my work, I enjoy everything because I got my female side intact.
Yep.
But my male side has to be able to maintain its dominance inside of me.
Yeah.
Okay, which means no complaining, no whining, no getting upset about stuff. And if I am, then I see, I'm on my female side, come back to my male side.
Just own it.
Okay, and meditation for me helped me get there, because meditation originally, think about what meditation is, the way it's often taught in Buddhism and so forth. Calm, cool, calm, collected, forget your problems. Now, what do we men say to women all the time as a mistake? We say, forget it. Don't worry about it. Water under the bridge.
Yes.
Everybody's got to talk about it. Women do need to talk about it. Men don't. Men need to suck it up. See, this is like, and I'm going to say, You can't have emotions if you're a man. If you're on your female side, you got to acknowledge I'm out of balance. Let me come back into balance. And I need to do it just the way a woman needs to do it if I'm way over on the female side. And the way you do it is you express your emotions, your negative emotions. Why negative emotions? Positive emotions also increases estrogen. But if you have hidden negative emotions, that inhibits your positive emotions. Okay. If you say, I'm not going to feel angry, or I'm not going to feel afraid, you just say, okay, I'm not going to feel that. Then you're also saying, I'm not going to feel happy and joyful. I'm cutting off my ability to fully feel, to be.
Totally agree. Yep.
So what is it that women are generally hiding most of the time? Generally, if you're in the work world, you're hiding your insecurities, you're hiding your disappointments, you're hiding your frustrations, you're hiding your anger, you're hiding your resentments, you're hiding your embarrassment. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I did this and this and this. This whole mental conversation, we're not about to reveal that to people throughout the day. So what women are doing throughout the day is suppressing estrogen. If men do that, they're suppressing estrogen, but that pumps up his testosterone. And when men are unhappy, stressed, or when men are angry, let's just look at that one. It's not high testosterone. Everybody thinks high testosterone causes aggression in men. No, it's low testosterone. Literally at that time when men are behaving badly, fight or flight. Fight or flight.
Yes.
Testosterone goes up to solve the problem. You're cool, calm, and collected. Okay, what am I going to do? If you don't know what to do, or if what you tried to do is unsuccessful, then what happens is you feel powerless. You lose confidence. When men lose confidence, they don't know what to do and they're in danger, their testosterone turns into estrogen.
Oh.
And then they become angry or they become afraid.
Wow.
Fight or flight. Fight or flight is always men's testosterone turning into female hormones. And unfortunately today we've got this whole culture that tells men to go over to their female hormones. It's such a easy place to go. As soon as you feel a little insecure, boom, go right over your female side, go play games, go eat junk food, go take drugs, go fool around, all this stuff that's feminine, play. You know, in the old days, you had something called playboys. Do you remember that phrase? You see it in the old movies. He's a playboy. Well, they're all playboys now. But the playboy always had a rich father. A rich father means things were given to him. So he was receiving all. He
didn't have to earn it.
Basically spoiled. You give too much to a man, you spoil him. So what do women say to me all the time in marriage when they're having problems? They say, oh, I give and give and give and I don't get back. I say, you're spoiling him. You didn't earn it. Never give unless you receive first. And if you're not receiving, that's your problem.
Oh, high five, fist bump right there.
There's so much to be grateful for. There's so much, and you give to yourself as well. Here's the interesting factor. For a women's body, again, we're talking about bringing the divine into your body, which means hormonal balance. Women need, now we know this is like simple, go to any knowledge on hormones. It's so testable, is for the first part, after your period, for 12 days, 10, 12 days, you're going to ovulate. During that time, estrogen levels are slowly rising. And then the last 5 days before ovulation, they double. Okay, estrogen doubles. That's your biological rhythm. Now, estrogen is produced through something called pair bonding. Pair bonding is depending on someone. And so, the modern woman goes, I don't depend on anybody. I can do it myself. I go, then you're estrogen deficient. You got to, but it's not all the time. You see, it's not like I'm a needy person. I just have certain times when I need to depend, and certain people I depend on for certain things. So it's like with discernment, but not just victim life, but I do depend on others. And so, and I'm responsible to create the reasonable ways to get that. And so I have to find that. So that's particularly the 5 days before ovulation. Then after ovulation, you still need some pair bonding, that's estrogen production, but you need way more progesterone production.
Okay.
And progesterone production is me time, selfish time, play time for women. That means doing what you love to do. That means doing what you want to do, where you're not dependent on somebody else, but you can enjoy being with other people. And that's called social bonding.
Yes.
I'm going to go to a party. I'm going to go sing in a choir. I'm not dependent on these people. I can come and go, but I enjoy doing it. It's really enjoying doing it. This is what I like to do for me. It's selfish time, basically. I do this for me, and hopefully you're having a good time too. But the need on the other side, pair bonding, is I depend on you. And the more I depend on you, the more estrogen that gets produced. So let's say you're in danger health-wise, you go to your doctor. A big part of why women get better when they go to doctors is because they're getting their pair bonding fixed. Oh, I really depend on him. You know, women have gurus or teachers. Oh, I really depend on them. You know, anytime a woman is depending on someone, learning something that's helpful to them that they depended on, that's an estrogen stimulator. And then doing things that they enjoy doing, like to do, but they're not really dependent on those things. That's progesterone stimulation. And after ovulation, going back down to the period, that's the time where you balance this need with self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
But self-sufficiency doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do it myself.
Right.
I can do it myself if I enjoy doing it myself. It's about enjoyment, taking responsibility to enjoy yourself. And the other part of the cycle is taking responsibility to get what I need and to know what I need. That's a big part of it. You know, I have a lot on my website about nutrition and, you know, simple supplements that can make a huge difference in mood and libido and lubrication, all these things. This is like basic stuff that you need to counteract the dangers of our environment and so forth. We need that extra support, I believe.
Yeah, totally. So, John, if the man stop the complaining, stop the whining, do the meditation, suck it up, the testosterone is now coming into balance and it doesn't go into too much estrogen and then anger. Okay, I get it. And so for the women, you're saying know the time in your cycle to depend on others in a discerning, not needy way, and know when it's time just to play, me time, selfish time, fulfilling. Because I've never been able to sit still very well and meditate, but I can sure dance and lose myself. Like that's my meditation. Do you have other ways that's good for women?
Well, that's female meditation for thousands of years. Dancing.
Okay, well that works for me.
You know, being sensual, being expressive, flowing, singing, dancing, doing what you love to do is female meditation. Now, there is the advanced, maybe advanced, I'll call it advanced. It's where you bring your male side and your female side together.
Okay, tell me more.
Okay, so that is, you'll see the gods doing it. Well, first of all, they're all having sex. That's the best. Okay, it's multi-orgasmic.
Yes.
And a woman cannot go to that place unless she has a man doing her. Okay, you need a man to get to that place. You need I don't know for gay women, okay, you know, you've got a partner who's more masculine. Okay. But our body is designed, there's all these points inside the vagina that turn on with each orgasm. The Taoists talk about the 9 orgasms, you know, and it's fantastic. And if, you know, when I'm giving my wife these 9 orgasms, you know, around 4, her body's going like this. Around 5, she's clinging to me for life and death. 6 is she's screaming. 7, I'm going to die. The French call it a little death.
Le petit mort,
Because, you know, it's a complete letting go and surrendering to mindlessness. Okay. You're going to full feeling. Just a pleasure in the body, but also love and surrender and openness and letting go of this mind that controls you all the time. You know, women are living in their head all the time. They need to get out of the head. So at the beginning, it's like this wild, crazy thing. And then it becomes more and more subtle where you're not even having to move. And she's just, what happens, their vagina will just involuntarily just suck like a sponge and just sucks and sucks. It's orgasm. And sometimes he just gives a little push in, another orgasm and another push in. But you can't just go and do that. Like we said, you know, this is levels to get to, you know, and so you have to have this hormonal balance inside. But when I'm talking about for women, there's a meditation you can do that's not sex, but it is very physical, and it is using your hands. Okay, so you'll tune into it right now. If you put your hands like this, okay, so notice fingertips, palm and then fingertips. That's how you touch, right? Yeah. So you're going to talk to God or whoever you talk to, and you say, okay, I need your help, come. And wow, see what just came? You feel that, don't you? Just call it in. So the female energy is quiet but feeling. The focus of the fingertips is your masculine energy. Your intention is your masculine energy. Yes. So the intent is come and feel the energy. Now let it go through your body, feeling the energy. And then there's more to this. Then you use come, and then you take it to another level in the heart, which is how do they come? Let's use your amulet. using your amulet. It's a pure frequency. Using this amulet, come. And then using this amulet, well, who comes? Your angels come. So using the amulet, send your angels. Feel this. You see how it intensifies? Because your amulet is a pure, it's a pure frequency, purer than us if we're stressed. So you just say, come. You can only receive so much energy because we're a little stressed. But the amulet's not. You can use water, you can use fire, you use, every religion always use the elements. And the magic also uses the elements. Everywhere it's using the elements. You say, okay, use this. Now, come, and then how to come, use this. Now my attention's on this. And then what? Using this, send your angels. And then using this, by your angels, heal me. Okay, or open the channels, or bless this day. Now you have intention. So you're doing all those things at once. That's your male side holding these things together. It's focusing on these things. And your female side is just open to, you can start more. The female side is like, powers of the universe or God, all the angels. My heart is open to you. Come, use this amulet, send your angels, surround me with your love and light, heal my body. And now that's bringing the energy down through all the 7 centers to the bottom center is by your angels right now, activate this amulet to heal my body. So now you have something very concrete to keep your attention on. And so our fingertips are just feeling all that energy in our hand. It may go through the whole body. The more advanced you are, the more it goes through all the acupressure channels. And then what you do, if you're a woman, then you say, fill me up. And if a man, I say, let me give you my energy. So my energy is going out to you now, along with the angels are doing this, but I'm emptying out and you're receiving. And that's the second chakra. So in the second chakra, women receive and men give. And that's the first step of sex. Is the woman starts to become more open, receptive through the man's giving. Then you bring it up to the third chakra, and now she's giving. She gives back. See, so she's now giving to me, and I'm now receiving. So I get to go into my receptive side.
Okay.
And then we bring it up to the heart chakra, which is exchanging. Now, exchanging is you're receiving. Okay, you bring the 3 and you add it to the 2 and the 1. You bring all those 3 things together. And now what you're in is the ideal intimate relationship is the woman is receiving, the woman is, I'm sort of in my own thing. It's a little complicated to say, let me just do mine first. I'm receiving from you and I'm giving back. Okay.
Like a figure 8.
I receive. And what you're doing is you're giving, but you're getting back everything. The women who are unhappy are giving, but they're not getting back.
Right.
But this is where you're giving and getting back simultaneously, because just now you received and you gave to me. So as you gave to me, you bring it back down to 2 and receive back. So you're giving and receiving simultaneously. And I'm receiving from you, but immediately sending it back to you. So I'm completely not there. It just bounces off of me. And you're like pulling it all in from me. And that's the heart chakra opening. That's sharing. It's exchanging with the male-female polarities. Now that's 4 levels up. And that's a beautiful meditation for anyone to do.
Yeah.
That's heart opening, exchanging the energies. And then it goes into the throat chakra, which is circling. That's communication, which is I'm getting where you are, you're getting where I am. Also resonance is happening at that point. But circling is more the Taoist thing. If you combine exchanging with receiving and giving, you're the 3, 2, 1. So what you're doing is keeping all the lower centers open while you're going to the next level, and they build up. And then you get to the third eye, which is now increasing. So this will be fun. We're calling on those angels, come now and give us more energy. And as it goes to the third eye, it opens up the crown chakra, which is now to assimilate. It now becomes a part. Because as long as you're holding into this, as long as you're circling the energy and you're in good communication, more can come through. Then you experience this assimilation. You're a part of me. That's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning.
Yeah.
When I said, if we're in oneness consciousness, we feel oneness, that's love. When I'm feeling love and you say something, I go, oh, well, that's a part of me. I'm learning about me. And that's real empathy. That's real. So that's 7 levels up. Then you got to bring it all down. So that's another 7 down. And then that's the energy going up, energy coming down. Then you get Sushumna, 7 levels up again. And that's the enlightenment. And then you go down 6 levels, back up 6 levels to bring the enlightenment through all the energy centers down and all the way up to the energy. So it comes to like 33 levels of meditation. I get to do this every day. And I do that before I have sex. So sex, I'm starting out in the highest place, which is, well, one of the highest places, not really the highest place, but it's I'm yours, you're mine, we're one together forever. You know, that's the enlightenment one. That's the Sushumna goes up and you just feel that union with your partner. And you're having sex at that time, or you're already in and she's having her orgasms as you're just in these waves of surrender. This is the possibility. But it takes training to get there. And the basics of it, at least for me in my life, was learning to be responsible for my happiness. That was my monk stage. Okay, I'm responsible for my happiness. In spite of all this estrogen, which I loved my teacher. I was the assistant to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi of the Transcendental Meditation movement. And I was like one of his best students, and they did brain stuff on me because I was really a real celibate. For men to have the juice, okay, to go up all those levels, to hold an erection for hours and hours and hours, you have to have lots of semen retention. Okay, you can't do it without the semen retention. You can't spend hours in samadhi without semen retention. That's the juice that goes up your spine and fills your brain.
Like the internal orgasm. Is that what you mean?
Well, that's maybe somebody else's phrase for it, the internal orgasm. Mine are quite orgasmic. It's orgasm. It's not ejaculation.
That's what I meant. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, orgasm is an experience of ecstasy in the body. Ejaculation overshadows that because nature makes you addicted to ejaculation because it wants to make you make more babies. Okay. It's really, you don't need to have orgasm different from ejaculation. But in the beginning, the orgasm you get without ejaculating is not as glorious. But as you practice for a few months, and then your semen builds up, then it becomes beyond anything an ejaculation. Ejaculation, you just think about it as like a sneeze. It's done. You know, you're talking about, you know, your whole body, icy cold and heat flowing through, you know, all these changes are taking place. To me, sometimes it's like riding a horse and galloping, you know, feeling oneness with the universe. It's just, these are the moments of ecstasy that don't have to be rare. They could be every day you're having sex. This is what's possible, but it takes complete accountability. You know, for women to be, this is the hard thing for women, because when I say complete accountability, that could mean I'm not going to let myself feel my non-accountable emotions. But that's where you have to go. You have to have this place of crazy, not rational, to be able to talk with your partner in language in terms of emotions. Now, see, my whole thing is very structured. You know, it's if you're ever stressed, and whether man or woman, your estrogen basically is out of balance. Okay. So in order to raise your estrogen up and in balance with your masculine side, to find balance, you need this part of the brain, which is your human part of the brain. This is the only place you have human DNA. For people who don't know that. Okay. The rest of this is more the emotional part, conditioned part. It's all monkey DNA. Back here is instinctive DNA, which is our instincts back here, which regulates sex. So it's not like we ever want to repress this stuff. We want to be in charge of this stuff. Right. So repressing is not good. Pushing down emotions is not good. Being in charge of them, guiding them like a parent to a child.
Yes. And makes total sense.
That's the whole thing. So this is self-reflection. So when a woman is upset, her job is to self-reflect on what am I feeling? Not believe the feelings. This is so counter everybody thinks. Get that if you're feeling upset, your feelings are wrong about external reality. It's what you feel. Like, I don't feel you love me, or I don't feel that I can get what I need from you, or I feel that you're mad at me. Whatever these feelings are you have, if you're upset, they're not right. The story you're telling yourself at that time is wrong. But you don't say you're wrong. You go, okay, what do you feel? Maybe I feel abandoned. I feel betrayed. I feel cheated. I feel disappointed. I feel dissatisfied. I feel injustice. I feel excluded, left out. All these are feelings. Okay. If you look at the feeling, then go deeper, you'll find an emotion. The emotion is where you send the dark energy out. Emotion is the most powerful thing to transform the feminine side of us. Emotions, your primary emotions come in 4 colors. If you look at, those old TV sets where they had the big screen and 3 lights and a black screen.
Yep.
3 lights, those 3 colors made everything. What are the 3 colors when it comes to emotions? The primal emotions are the red, which is anger, frustration, and jealousy. Anger, frustration, and jealousy, or rage, you could call it that either.
Yep.
Anger, frustration, and jealousy. Those are your red emotions.
Yep.
Then you get your blue emotions. That's sadness, disappointment, and hurt.
Yep.
Those are the blue ones, okay, like depressed kind of feelings. And
Yeah.
then you have fear, the yellow emotions. They say people are yellow, so that's a fear. So it's, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I'm in danger, I'm afraid, I'm anticipating something, and I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Now, those are the 3 colors. Now, if you notice, they all feel different because they come from different parts of the brain.
Okay.
Part of us, which is very primitive, is scared. My life's in danger. I'm in survival.
Yep.
I'm scared. The part of us, which is sad, but from the instinctive side of the brain, the most primitive part of us is hurt. I'm abandoned. I'm excluded. I'm left out. I'm not getting what I need. That's it, survival mode. So you've got scared, you've got hurt, and you've got jealousy and rage. Okay, that's all back here in this primitive part of the brain. So just know that's what you're dealing with there. You would never make a decision from your instincts. You would listen to your instincts, and the way this part of the brain stays in control, it identifies and articulates. It creates language. Language is what separates us from animals. But what the whole thing is, when you articulate your emotions, whether it be from here or the middle part of the brain is anger, sadness, fear, and regret. And the front part of the brain is frustration, disappointment, concern, and embarrassment. Those are all the front part of the brain. Now, that's where you want to bring it to. Okay. But wherever you are, you want to embrace that part of you and question it. Like a child being upset. Okay, well, tell me why. Well, tell me why.
Beautiful.
And as you're bringing the light down, you're also just asking questions. You're not acting on those emotions.
Right.
Ultimately,
curious. Caring.
All negative emotions are the way primitive brain, monkey brain, manipulates the world. Okay. I'm angry. Oh, you better I'm going to intimidate you. It's coming from fear. Another one is sad. Oh, I'm so sad. Elicits compassion and empathy to get more support. Oh, I lost my husband. I can't, so people will help you. Another one is fear, keeps us from having to do things. Oh, I'm too afraid. I don't want to do it. It's ultimately, we're not conscious of this, but these are automatic reactions. And then there's also the other 4th emotion, black color, is regret, embarrassment, regret, and shame. These are like primal emotions inside of us. Dogs have them, they feel ashamed. You get, oh, I'm bad, you have, and we have such backward parenting techniques that reinforce these lower parts of us, but we can work on it as adults. Once we get to about age 28, then we have the full capacity to self-reflect if we use it. That's where you actually can have self-realization, is around 28. You can reflect. That front part of the brain fully develops then if you have the right kind of support in your life. If you don't, then you can create that support, develop self-reflection by reflecting on, for women, it's reflecting on what do I feel, what's going on, and not using those emotions to manipulate others.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay? You use those emotions to change yourself. So I'm going to be upset with my partner because you should change will not heal. It will not give you power to the front part of your brain. It only weakens you, and it weakens your femininity, because if I'm using my emotions to get you to change, then I have to do it myself. I'm trying to change you, rather than what we always want to do is change ourselves. If you want to change the world, you change yourself. Then you behave in a way that provides more support. You serve more, and you will get more back. But to withhold, to pull back, which we do. Everybody does. You reject me, I reject you back. That means you're going to continue to be rejected. Unless you're coming from a place of manipulation through fear and intimidation, which is trying to get out of that monkey brain here. But at the same time, you have to embrace the monkey brain. Down into the instinctive brain where you still have a sex drive. This is got to get into the body is down here. And this is all where regeneration takes place, is down here. Like lizards, they can grow stuff back, digestion, all down here.
Nice.
So when we're out of balance, we disconnect with the 3 parts of our brain. At the same time, if we want this part of the brain to be in charge, this is where our pineal gland, we can connect with the divine and call in that. And
Yep.
then your world is grace. Then you have the wisdom inside to see that everything happens is actually a gift.
Yes.
It always has been. It always has been. Because what is the gift? If a child's doing the wrong thing, they have to learn they're doing the wrong thing. And how do we know there's wrong thing? Pain. Pain tells us to do the wrong thing and motivates us to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Because whenever you let go of pain, you do that by doing the right thing. So anytime you're in pain, you're doing the wrong thing. That's what people have to get. Not my partner. They might be doing the wrong thing too. But if I want to change the outer world, I change myself, and the outer world starts to reflect that, give me what I need, but not always in the way we think it should. Because this part of the brain thinks, oh, to get what I need, you have to change.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not going to change. Maybe you're going to change inside, lose interest in that person, or bring in somebody else. I'll give you one example of this. You know, I teach in front of audiences. I love now little audiences because we can all talk, but also I do these big events. I just came from London, did 500 people, just in China, did 7,000 people, you know.
Woo.
Okay, that's all big energy flowing through and everything.
Yep.
And I will generally get a standing ovation, not every time. But people, they come, oh, the best talk I ever heard. That was so fantastic. But feels really good to have that. That's called testosterone. Okay. Then I come home. I come in the front door. My wife says, you know, you forgot to do this, and you didn't do this, and this happened. It's no longer, there's no standing ovation when I get home. And my wife was so smart. She said, John, you're a big person. You need standing ovations. I get that. I'm your wife. I can't be 1,000 people giving you a standing ovation. I give you something else. Okay. So God gave you big audiences. So you get that fulfilled. Now we can have a different kind of relationship.
Yeah.
That, you know, as I mentioned this, I just want to say all of this that we're covering here, I talk about in my book, How to Get What You Want and Want What You Have.
Yes.
Okay? This whole gender stuff about our male-female side is in my book, Beyond Mars and Venus.
Okay.
And if you happen to be at more of a traditional level of male-female relationship, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yeah.
But if you're way at this advanced stage where women are too far on their male side, men are too far on their female side, once you start coming back into balance, then you read Men Are From Mars, it will be really helpful because you'll be more on your male side, she'll be more on the female side. And I'll give you an example of that, a good idea in Men Are From Mars. Is a guy, you know, you fall in love, and generally guys today, if you do fall in love with them, they're going to be way on their romantic side, their estrogen side, it's all flowing. Well, when men get really close to the estrogen, their estrogen goes too high, which means their testosterone goes too low.
Yeah.
So how does a man rebuild his testosterone to balance? He has to disconnect. So he has to detach.
Yeah.
So when men detach, they can rebuild their testosterone. Then when testosterone goes up, then he feels, oh, I'm incomplete. I need more estrogen. And that's where he wants to have sex again. That's where he wants to be close again. So what happens a lot today, because we're so free around sex sometimes, is you have lots and lots of sex, and then he pulls away. And you go, what happened? What happened? His estrogen went too high. He has to pull away. And if you look at sex, the way conventional sex, men will be all loving, feel, oh, I love you, you're wonderful, and you have your orgasm, and then he wants to pull away. Now, sometimes women want to pull away, but more of the time, men will sort of detach and they'll pull back. What's he doing? It's an automatic phenomena of I can't be connected to you producing estrogen in order to make more testosterone.
Right.
So
but if you don't ejaculate as much and you have more of this internal orgasmic state, does that still apply?
No, that's the great thing about it.
That's what I was figuring, yeah.
Your testosterone levels double.
Oh.
Okay, once you learn to have sex. First of all, let me give the Japanese study. You know, there's a lot of ideas. People go, oh, it's just ideas. No, there's some facts here. Some studies here on biological rhythms. What they found in Japan is they studied men having sex on Saturday night.
Okay.
And so they ejaculate, that most men ejaculate. Then that on Sunday, they testosterone goes down, which is why you often see men sort of do man things on Sunday. You know, they withdraw, they watch sports, you know, they do athletics or whatever. They hang around, it's their day off, they rest. Even God rests, ejaculate, now next day we're going to rest. Okay, so it's the down period. The estrogen is really high, okay? So I made a joke there, you know, about God, okay? So he drops down, and you can measure this. His testosterone's really high when he's all excited. Then the next day, it comes back down to what it kind of normally is, okay? It's just a little bit lower. And then over the next 6 days, it slowly picks up a little bit. But on the seventh day, maybe this is what God meant when he said day of rest. On the seventh day, his testosterone levels double. Double. Okay, double. This is amazing for men. Have double is you feel like Superman. You feel fantastic.
Wow.
And so that gives men courage, motivation, and interest in sex to penetrate the woman and do whatever it takes to do that. So this will happen if men do not ejaculate at least for 6 days. Now, I did it for 9 years, so I was like super in meditation and all that stuff. And now I do it. I don't ejaculate either. It's just, but I have lots of sex, orgasm.
Sure.
Because
I'm so curious, your capacity, I mean, like you're pretty famous. You've made pretty much of like a massive impact, like multiple millions of people, right? Is that because of this internal building of your testosterone, like, and the semen grows inside and the energy grows inside? Is that actually a capacity to make an impact on the planet, to hold that amount?
Of course. If you look at Think and Grow Rich, they all said it. They all said conservation of energy. They did it in different ways. They learn to bring the energy up, but it's not just the physical, it's the consciousness that you're also developing as well. It's the fuel so your consciousness can be expanded to receive. Now, I'll tell you what happened to me, okay? I mean, this is all interesting. I have a whole thing about energy channels and everything.
Yeah.
The reason, for example, in that little meditation we did, which is first you turn on the energy, you activate the energy. First thing men do is energy needs to be offered. Every religious ceremony, everything is you bring an offering, flowers, you have to give something, okay? If you give something, you empty out.
Yes.
Then you can receive more.
Yes.
And then if you keep emptying out, you continue to receive more. So it's always a matter of giving out. And then you receive more. So I, through my meditation, everything, I opened up, completely to receive. So I could receive. And then it all came, but it was too much. So what would happen is all this energy was coming in. I hadn't yet got to the place I am now where I'm always giving out. I mean, I meditate 6 hours a day. My eyes are closed, and the faces of all the people who think about me or reading my book, it took me a while to figure out who are all these faces. I see all these nice people, they're smiling, they're happy, they're like,
oh
laughing,
my God, how beautiful.
All these people come. I realize these are all the people. I mean, I have maybe 100 million readers on my books.
Right?
Way more, it's huge. So some of these people are thinking about me and being grateful to me. So that energy comes at me, and now my third eye's open. So I just these people, I see faces, and they're not like bright colored faces. It's kind of like shadowy, but then sometimes it is very clear. It's just kind of like black and white gray. But they're all coming. They just melt into another. So what I do in my meditation, that's energy that comes. I just sit and I send that energy back to them. It's just blessing, and that's what you got to do. Otherwise, what happened to me is when Men Are From Mars was its heyday, that book, it was like taking off. Biggest selling of all books for 9 years.
Yeah.
Just like at the very top, on top of all of them. And that was 80,000 people a week learning about the book and reading the book, telling somebody about the book. That was huge, like a big stadium. I remember the Olympic Stadium. That many people are thinking about me every week, more and more and more. So what would happen around 3 o'clock in the morning is my stomach, my power, that's where you absorb energies to the navel.
Yeah.
You contain it inside. It would just burn, and it was painful, and I couldn't sleep. And this went on for about 6 years, until every year the angels would say to me, they would say, "Is it enough?" And I said, "Nope." And then finally, in 1999, "Is enough?" I said, "Yes, I want to sleep now." And the next week, my book went off the bestseller list. It's always good as a back-end bestseller. It's just enough. I'm in a very peaceful place with it. I continue, but I never have that issue anymore because I'm sending the energy out as it comes in, and I have to do that. Otherwise, I would suffer. And
so is it the same?
So too much energy coming at you causes a blockage. So imagine you got a channel, it's only this big. Now meditation gave me a big channel to let it flow in.
Yeah.
But I couldn't give it back. I had to keep it flowing. I didn't know how at that time. But if you have a channel and energy is flowing and suddenly more energy flows, now you have a pressure and a tension.
Yes.
That's what tension is. That's what stress is we're not handling the energy that comes.
Yeah.
What calls energy in? What you call it? We did it just then. We said, come.
Yes.
We gave it a thing. It comes. If you can feel it, then you're channeling it through. But when you say come, energy comes, and that's desire. So desire has always been considered the Pandora's box, because if you desire more, you're going to be angry, disappointed, frustrated, jealous, comparing, all these bad things. So throughout history, when people were in survival and security mode, it was don't desire, don't desire, don't desire. We now live in democracy. Everybody can have what they want. Let's look at what we see on the internet. Oh, happy people, loving people. Oh, I want. Why don't I have? So all this unhappiness is happening right now because more energy comes to us, but we don't know how to channel that energy and then integrate that energy.
Thank you. Yeah. So say more about the how. And first, before that, the dynamic of your sexual practices and cosmic practices that led you to literally facilitate this amount of energy that came through you, even though you had a bellyache for 9 years. What is it for women? What is the practice for women to receive and run that amount of energy and make that big of an impact?
What would happen is when women have energy coming in, they want more, energy comes in. If there's a blockage, now what would a blockage be? And in turn, it's abstract, but it would be a belief. Okay, these limiting beliefs we have. Okay, so I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable. But many women go, I am lovable. No, if you're upset about it, you're not feeling vulnerable in there. Or maybe I'm not so lovable. Maybe I'm jinxed. Maybe I'll never have love again. Maybe and that's too painful. So we go, oh, there's not enough good men, or they're just all jerks. So, so let's put it on somebody else so I don't feel the pain of one of those emotions, which is regret, which is shame. We have all these emotions inside of us. So for women, the major process is, first of all, doing what you like to do, as you mentioned, dancing and all of that. That's going to be your progesterone stimulation. But at certain times of the month, vulnerability, where you depend on somebody to feel better. Okay. And other times you don't need somebody to feel better. You do your thing. Other times you depend on someone to feel better. And sex is one of those places. But before you can really open up the sex, generally speaking, is emotional vulnerability. Because in our world today, women are so on their masculine side, you can't show any of that. And if you did, it would be seen as weakness. It would be seen as non-logical. It would be seen as an overreaction. There's another thing that comes in here is basic psychology, which is that when things are good in your life, then unresolved issues from the past come up. Okay, so we'll just say that one again, is when things are good in your life, you feel like, oh, now I can be me. Then the memories and experiences at times where you couldn't be me, they start surfacing. The unresolved, to be
integrated, right?
They come up to be let go of. Oh, I'm no longer that child anymore. You know, I don't have to feel like I'm not good enough. I don't have to feel like I'm powerless. I don't have to feel like I'm not a good person. So these tensions from childhood, this lock, they start to come into our awareness in waves. And when they come up, as things get better, which usually happens after you get married, for example, you feel like, oh, now I'm loved. Now I can be me. What is it, like 9 months later, you've gained 6 pounds, okay, or 8 pounds. You're pushing down the emotions by eating more. There's disappointment. Maybe I married the wrong guy. All this stuff happens. I'll try harder, but the insecurities start to come up because the dream, the fantasy is not happening. But the fantasy opened you up, like I can have. You see, part of what love is the understanding that I deserve. And if you translate I deserve into something a little different, it's I can have. So, I can have it all. As soon as you can have it all, then energy's flowing. But if you desire, I want this, and then you feel I can have it all, energy's flowing, something happens and you go, oh, I can't have it all. Boom, your heart closes. So it's I can have, it's like and if you can have, and you also need someone, and I can have it, then you will have it. I mean, these are the higher levels of then I will, and then I can be, and then I am, and I always have been, These are higher levels of consciousness that come, which are fantastic. And you get to that in the very practical way by having your spiritual practices that help you go up. But then you have your relationship that helps to integrate this down. But you want more. How do you manage your desiring, regulating it by being in touch with what your emotions are?
Right, and not judging them.
Okay. Logical and emotional. Okay, 2 different extremes. What we want is to have logical emotions, which, by the way, when your emotions are purely logical, rational, you always feel good. There's no pain.
Tell me what you mean by that, because I think I know, but maybe not.
Okay. All negative emotions is the way you experience pain energetically. Negative emotions are pain. Positive emotions are pleasure energetically.
Right.
Okay? That's it. Physically, there's a tension in your body. Energetically, you can identify it as anger, as sadness, as fear. They're not feelings. Feelings are these beliefs that may be true or maybe not. Intuition.
Right. Right. But
Okay?
the pure.
People think feelings are the same as emotions. No, you feel emotions. You use your feeling ability, which is
Yes.
to know what's inside of you, to
Yes.
experience your emotional reactions to things.
Yes.
When you have a negative emotional reaction to things, it's because somewhere you're not seeing reality the way it really is.
The gift in it.
Yeah, it's what story am I telling myself
Yes.
that I need to
Understood.
reframe? I need to tell myself a different story and get closer to what really could be going on here.
Yes.
Okay? So when you have the negative emotion, you're over here and you're not being as rational as you could be if you're very spiritual, aligned with the higher self and so forth. And then you're over here logical. You can be very logical, but you're not feeling love.
Yeah.
Then you're cold-hearted. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got emotions and logic, these two things. When they come together, you always feel really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Optimistic, you feel enthusiastic, you feel peaceful, you feel a lot of positive feelings is when they're in balance. So if women are over on their masculine side and not nurturing their female side at the same time, they're pushing down their emotions throughout the day. It's like a pendulum, goes way over here, over to my left. Now to find balance, I can't just come back to logical feelings. You can't just shift from stress to feeling good. Your mind says, oh, I have a great life. I live in Marin County. Everything's fine. But no, you've been pushing down emotions, which build up and build up and build up. And they become an accumulation, like 10 bad things happen. Then suddenly your husband's 5 minutes late. It's a bigger deal. Okay?
I call that sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit.
That's right. You're right. Particularly if you have a good life, then more stuff comes up from your childhood. So when you go over from your male yang, yin yang, to your masculine energy, to find balance, you don't come right back to balance. To further extent you're out of balance here, you will go out of balance there, which means you're going to have extremely non-logical emotions. Okay, extremely unreasonable emotions.
Yeah.
So what you have to is to create a context where this is like a child throwing a tantrum.
Yes.
Not who I am here. It's the child, the monkey brain throwing a tantrum. Let me listen to it.
Yes.
Let me empathize with it. Let me hear it. But most important, let me articulate the emotions that are being experienced. Now, when you come to how to articulate the emotions, usually the first emotion you think you have is the most superficial. Like, for example, if a man is angry, he's afraid. But you say to, oh, you're just afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm tough. You know, and if you say to somebody, you're afraid, they go, I'm afraid. No, you're really angry. You're pissed off. They did that to you. No, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. No, you become afraid because you're afraid because they did something wrong. Okay, you need to, what I'm pointing out here is that there's levels to emotion.
Yes.
Based upon our conditioning of childhood.
Yes.
We will have one emotion which is safe and other emotions that aren't. For example, for women, and this is in your DNA. This is transferred from generations in the past. If you go back in history, when women became angry with men, men felt inadequate and went to estrogen land and became violent.
Yeah.
So women learn you don't be angry with men. So you hold that inside. And so when you push down one emotion, the others, you get stuck in the others.
Yes.
So there's this whole sort of victim mentality, fear mentality, can't get what I want, you know, or regret, shame, all those, you get stuck. Whenever you're stuck in an emotion, it's usually because it's not the emotion you need to be feeling. But if you start with that, you always start with where you are. It's true. And you look deeper. So what I found is generally, if somebody's angry, there's always underneath it some hurt and sadness, some fear, and then some regret, some embarrassment. So you go down these levels. Now, I itemize them in very clear language and how to get what you want what you have. It's also, that's a book. And then another one is the Beyond Mars and Venus, also talks about just with your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriends, therapist, whatever. You always, when you have stress, you know that you want to strengthen this part of the brain. You embrace whatever comes up, but you always bring it back to this part of the brain. And this part of the brain, if ever you're stressed, there's some frustration. Okay, we're always frustrated. Look at anything, tell me something that's uncomfortable in your life. Okay, that's frustration, okay? Most people can more easily admit to frustration.
Yes.
Then you go, okay, now go a little deeper. Okay, I'm frustrated because there was so much to do. I'm not getting paid enough. I don't get recognition. No one appreciates me. I do everything. I don't have any help. That's very frustrating. Okay, I hear that. Okay. It's very hard if you just say to a man, for example, oh, people didn't do this, they don't do this, they don't do this, they did this, just stay on the top of the story. He's not going to relate to it.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you the empathy. Empathy is where I experience that what's over there is inside of me. And
Yeah.
I experience the world differently. I don't go around going, people don't appreciate me. If people don't appreciate me, I think, how do I have to change my behavior? Okay, it's not even come up to me in my mind. No, what everybody appreciates me because I appreciate me. You know, I don't hear. I have people that hate me. Okay, but I don't think about them because I appreciate me. So it's a big thing for women when they're on their male side too far. The male side needs appreciation. So she's always feeling I need appreciation, but appreciation doesn't increase estrogen, which would give her balance. So that's always what women will say. Oh, I don't feel appreciated, not appreciated, not appreciated. That's a symptom you're way on your male side. For men, the symptom they're way on their female side is the tyrant. Oh my God, he's like, I want respect, I want obedience. You must do with me, you have to agree with me. I'm the right, you're the wrong. You know, this is all this men being too emotional on their female side. On their male side, it's respecting, it's serving, it's honoring, it's embracing, it's understanding. Then all this, the masculine energy penetrates to support, to serve.
Yes.
Everything's confused today. You know, even that, you know, the part of the whole Christian thing that got off balance is women, you know, your job is to respect men. Well, a long time ago, you needed to respect men by being happy all the time. Otherwise, men got angry and whatever. But actually, what men needed most is to be acknowledged and appreciated for how they contribute to your life. When men have that, then their testosterone goes up and they feel secure. Then if they're safe, you'll naturally respect them more. But naturally, everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves appreciation. But when you're saying, and you're a woman, oh, nobody appreciates me because you're way on your female side. They can do a million things. You're not going to feel appreciated because what's going to make you feel good is going over to your female side where you need to be respected. You need to be honored. And you have to start by respecting yourself.
Yes.
Embracing that part of you and saying, you know, I have all these crazy negative emotions. It's not really my higher self, but I'm going to heal that. I'm going to use my exploration of those emotions to come back to love and centeredness. Then if it's something about my partner I need to talk about, I go to them and I say, you know, yesterday when you didn't call or you were late or when you said that whole thing, I had all these feelings come up. I processed it, but I want you to know how I felt. Put it in past tense.
Yes.
You put it in present tense, he'll become a monkey reacting to your monkey.
Yeah, nice.
So I want to tell you how I felt. And then, so I'm going to go there. So now you're going to be there and you say, when you don't call, it makes me feel, okay, and you go into the victim thing, but it's okay because you came from love. And then you say, it makes me feel like you don't care about me. It makes me feel like your students are more important than me. It makes me feel like, why bother to cook you a meal if you're going to do that? Makes me feel like I can't trust you. These are the things, but you only limit it to like 3 things. If you're going to go, makes me feel, then you're going to preface it. This is like this is $1 million phrase. When you turn off the show, this is it. This will change your life, women. You want to share your feelings with a guy. First, find your balance. So you're remembering you love this guy. He's a great guy, but he needs to know how you feel. Now you're coming not to change him so he can understand you so you will feel even better. Yes. And hopefully he will learn from that too. Okay, so, but the primary thing is I need to share so then I'll feel more complete. And you will because you're getting the empathy from them. Yep. The way you get him so he'll really be able to listen is you say, first of all, I just need to talk for maybe 5 minutes. I have 3 feelings from about what happened last night. I just want to share them. You don't have to say anything. I don't want you to say anything. That means no apologies are required. Right. So demand for apologies. You should. You probably going to do different. That just puts him in defensive mode. Yes, it does. You want him to hear you. Yes. So you preface it. This is the most amazing phrase. This is the phrase. You say, I just need to talk about my feelings. Don't need you to say anything. But most important, it's not a big deal. Oh, very nice. If you say to a man, it's not a big deal, he goes, okay, relax. Okay, now he's in estrogen land. If he's in estrogen land, he can empathize with you. He'll go right now, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Everything's okay here. Because as soon as women get emotional, what happens is men have a instinctive reaction that misinterprets where she's coming from. Because the reality in a man's body, if he's more in harmony with his masculine energy, is he doesn't get upset unless a problem is really big. Right. Otherwise, we're cool, calm, and collected. And only, there's a saying in China that I like. I teach a lot in China, where they're being like, men don't cry. Men are tough. Men don't do this. Unless his heart is broken, then he can cry. Oh. So my heart's been broken many times, and I cried, and I processed. Grieving is important. But as a general practice, if it's the little problems of life, don't dwell on the negative emotions on it. Come back to your positive emotions. And if you're still stuck in negative emotion, you can just do those concern, disappointment, the more front ones. But if the other ones come up, you embrace those. But only after, see, this is for men, only after you've taken time to detach and forgotten. You have to forget what happened, which is the opposite. Oh my God, what everybody wants to do is try to think about what happened. And no, think about what happened after you feel good. Men, in order to feel good, they have to completely detach. Now, for me, that was easy because I just meditate. Okay, I'm one with the God. Okay, so that happens. But other men who don't meditate, although it's a good practice to learn, you'll eventually be able to be multi-orgasmic. Is you will go play a video game, go drive your car, go watch TV, but not for a long period of time.
Right.
Just that you're feeling good. Once you're feeling good, then take time to reflect on what happened that upset you. And then look at what they did wrong. That's okay. You look at what, because your mind's doing that anyway. And then look at what you did to create it and how you could have avoided it. And that's how I wrote Men Are From Mars. Every time there was an interaction with my wife, I could always blame her, but then I looked at what could I do differently. And so it's all my formulas of how I learned to do it differently and create harmony and understanding.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing in my own life and the progression of this knowledge. First, I was always being accountable. That's masculinity, is pure accountability. And I learned that from meditation and all that. And I analyzed like what I've just said. Then I started being a better husband. And as I was a better husband, my wife felt safer and more open. And I started seeing how she now treated me differently. And that made me a better person.
Right.
That's what my later books, I talk about more what women can do for men to bring out the best in men. Men Are From Mars, really, if you look at it very objectively, it's men making the changes for women. And little changes for women. Although some women go, oh, it just sounds like it's all our fault. We have to make all the changes. I said, are you kidding? Look at what I'm asking men to do. But, But
I like what you said about don't avoid, but like do your video game, go for your bike ride or whatever you need to do. Because what is it? Einstein says you can't solve a problem by the same consciousness that created it. So like raise yourself up. And then from this place, let's have a look at it. Okay, I adore you. This is so fun.
Hormonally, what that means for men is to rebuild their testosterone.
Understood. I didn't get that before. Yeah.
Do something you're good at. Do something you're good at with the intention to forget. And for certain men who have bigger shoulders, riding a bike is really good. Lifting weights is really good. Getting rid of the adrenaline that went along with the cortisol as you use your muscle mass.
Right. And for the woman, it would be more of her feminine and going to like reparent those like emotions.
If she can go right there, she might have to also do some dancing and singing, connect with friends, feel safe.
Maybe a good cry as you dance. Yeah.
Then become a master of processing. Always, you just go through. If I'm stressed and upset, if I can't go from frustration to disappointment to concern and embarrassment is the best one of all. Because all the time we're trying to not be embarrassed. And last thing we want to admit is our shame and our guilt, the things we regret. But look what happens biologically to people when they're embarrassed. When you do something, I'm embarrassed. Blood flows to the front part of the brain. Your face turns red. It's the most amazing emotion. It's our whole life is to hide what we're embarrassed about. We don't want to be embarrassed. Don't want to be embarrassed.
Wow. Do you know that's one of the reasons why I chose my job? Because it's what I need to learn to be intimate with myself vulnerably in front of others. So I don't have to worry about trying to hide, which I did all my life as a little people pleaser. This has been so valuable. I have it sort of going back to the beginning of the interview, John. This ability you have to connect with the divine and this orgasmic state and how you've brought that into your marriage. My understanding is that Bonnie has passed.
Yes.
Can you still make love with her on the other side? How has that transformed on the other side of the veil?
It's 1 year, 1 month now since she passed. And every day I cry.
I'm so sorry.
Every day I connect with her.
Yeah.
And just you bring that up, tears come to my eyes. I miss her terribly.
Yeah.
I love her in my life. I've gone through all those emotions over and over and over. My heart is broken. I will love again. It will all happen again. She wants me to be happy. I want to be happy. You go through different stages. That will be a book on. I've written a book on grief before, so I'm good at it. but this is really the toughest one. My mother died by an accident. My father was murdered. My brother committed suicide. My other brother
Oh.
with him when he died of cancer. My sister had Alzheimer's disease. I've been through all this grieving stuff. On my honeymoon, we found out my father had been found dead in his trunk. Somebody had robbed him. All these things have happened to me. But that's my journey to as a teacher. I have these situations, not that I created these situations, but this is just the universe is giving me these gifts, the process, to learn, to teach, to process these things. But losing my wife of 34 years, a massive loss. And yes, I experience ecstasy with her in my meditations. She's always with me. And here's the sweetness. I'll tell you another sweetness, which is I look at when I married Bonnie, I said, honey, when I'm with you, life has color. To me, to a certain extent, it's black and white, but then you say, oh, look at the little flowers. Oh, look how beautiful the sky is today. Or look at that beautiful sunflower. And she was a gardener, and she really was somebody who appreciated beauty so much in life. And now, I look out, I go, oh, Bonnie, look, it's literally like she's saying to me, oh, look at the trees and look at this. I'm experiencing my life through her because she's now part of me. Yeah. She was my soulmate. Yeah. Which meant that my oneness with her revealed a part of me. And I hold on to my oneness with her. She helps me to be much more loving to people, but more appreciative of nature and the earth. That was her great pain, was what we're doing to the earth. She was so connected to the earth. Yeah, and I'm not that connected to the earth in that way, but she helped me to be connected. We got to change the consciousness of this planet, so I focus on that, and that's been my major thing. You can't do everything. That's something very important I learned. Yeah. So, but she's with me now in that way.
Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for your beautiful capacity to be with her in a new way. And I just send you so much love.
Thank you.
Yeah, so much love and tenderness. I want to honor your time. I could talk to you for days. You're so wise, so funny, so witty, so vulnerable. Yeah. Thank you for the gift that you are and the gift that you keep giving and your precious time that you've spent with us today. And that we get to end it honoring Bonnie, who's still here just in another way.
Yeah. That's so sweet that you did that. I'm very grateful to that.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't mean to change gears, but I want to honor my commitment and make sure more people can learn from you. So listeners, I just want you to know, and viewers, there's a beautiful 3-day relationship seminar. You can just, from this taste, your life will definitely alter in a changeable, lasting way by being with this amazing man. So it's October 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's at the Corte Madera Inn in Corte.
That's Bay Area. It's like...
Thank you. The Bay.
San Francisco, yeah.
San Francisco area. Wonderful. And you simply go to www.marsvenus.com/list/events. And then from this wonderful interview, please use the discount code for a whole 25% off, 25 Soulmate. And so that's the number 25 and then Soulmate. And if you have any questions about that, just email events@marsvenus.com. So...
Let me say about the class, it's not just for soulmates. It's about finding a soulmate, being the soulmate.
Yes.
For single people, for couples. You can participate in front of the room when I work with people, or you can sit and watch and see yourself up front. Because once the truth is spoken, anybody who speaks, you'll see it's a part of you, and it's just what you needed to hear, to learn. And it's a beautiful experience.
Absolutely. Thank you for reflecting so many truths that I've intuitively known, but the way you can bring in science and all of your research has been just such a nourishment for me in my journey. Thank you for your time. How would you like to end this interview from your heart to the viewers and listeners?
Asking about my wife, I definitely connected with everybody, but I'm very practical, down to earth, and I know I've thrown out a lot of things, ejaculation control for men. I touched on the subject. I go more deeply in my weekend. You can learn a little bit about that. Montauk Chia has a book called The Multi-Orgasmic Man. It's a different system, but it's a very good book, and it got me started in some ways. And another book by Dr. Chang called The Tao, T-A-O, of Sexuality, or Sexology. These are Chinese traditions, don't exactly fit into our lifestyle, but they're helpful to begin. In my class, I teach men certain exercises so that they can have semen retention without blue balls. Okay, that's the problem for guys. You can choose, but once you can do it without blue balls, and you can go on and on and on, then the energy builds up, and you can be multi-orgasmic.
Yeah.
And it is a powerful, powerful gift to give to yourself and to your relationship, because then you're always feeling your desire for your partner never lessens. Okay, your testosterone stays double than what it would normally be. And mine 25% higher than when I was a young man.
Wow.
I practice this, and it's amazing what it can do. That is the ultimate of longevity and health and vitality, although I do recommend a lot of different types of supplements and diets and whatever. But I feel supplements are only necessary because we're exposed to toxicity or we have bad diets. So if you're not exposed to toxicity, no bad diet, you don't need supplements. But you do need lots of fasting. You got to give your body a chance to detoxify. I just finished a 21-day fast. Last 2 days, I was just fasting on water. So I do that quite regularly as well to keep the energy flowing through my body, because we are living in a soup of toxicity.
Yeah.
Some people can't do all that stuff. They don't have the discipline to do it. I understand that, or the stable blood sugar, or the vitamin deficiency. So supplements can help you if you can't just do the actually pure diet, fasting, connecting, higher consciousness, because generally what we did when we did our hands, and what you felt was in Taoist terms, the chi energy.
Yeah.
When you eat food, food is converted into chi energy. So I don't really need to eat. I only eat one meal a day, and then very little. Not necessary, because I have the meditation where I'm pulling the energy in. Yes. But that's not for everybody. I'm a 50-year meditator. So
yes.
but there's certain exercises which you read about in these books. They're more esoteric. But what I've learned, a lot of men's ejaculation control retention is building muscle. There's a certain group of muscles that actually in yoga they teach it. It's Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and another bandha. These are locks. The body has to go into locks, so the energy will automatically go up. You can combine it with meditation, but actually you can do it if you're very secular and you just learn how to get those muscles right. Muscle awareness for men, and for women also takes exercises to be multi-orgasmic, till they have control over the vaginal walls where they can constrict. And all of that practice, for women, one of the major ones is just constricting, is going to increase blood flow in that area. And that also helps heal the vaginal area and also increase estrogen in their body. So these are exercises people can do. And these books from Taoists, they talk all about it. Because this is 6,000 years old. They didn't have TV. They just hung around all the time at night. What did they do? They studied sex.
I love it. And I love what obviously the way we have our sexual relationships will improve, but our, where we're making decisions from, and how we're interacting with each other with our communication, and the way we can serve the planet just ripples. This is a beautiful core from which it just keeps blossoming like a lotus flower to support our planet, like Bonnie was so connected with, and then intimate relationships, every level. It goes up every level.
Yeah, and if you want more in your life, you have to be using more. You have to use more. Some people say, "Oh, I want to write a book," and then they get writer's block. That's because they don't have enough experience to be able to let the energy flow through.
Yes.
And if you then want even more, you give your life for the planet. You serve in some way the world, and then you get these higher levels of galactic energy that flows through you. You become a member of the universe.
I love it. And it reminds me of Dr. Barbara Marx Hubbard, right before she passed, saying that she really believes soulmate is evolving into whole mate together for all of humanity, not just for each other. But so maybe that's what's
she's a beautiful woman. She's a very close friend of mine. She called some kind of sex we had. She had some word for it. Spiritual sex.
Vocational arousal. I like when she talks about that.
That was her big phrase, vocational arousal as well. Yeah. She had another one for super sex or something like that.
Super sex, yes.
Not physical. But
with the divine.
With the divine, yeah.
Yeah, this has been such a delight. Thank you ever so much. I can't wait till we get to connect again. And may this relationship seminar be so successful for so many.
Thank you.
All right. All my love to you, John. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to write down one new action or behavior or choice that you will make as a result of what you just learned on the show. And if you're ready to have the sexual freedom, the healthy communication, and deep connection that you desire and deserve, I've put together a quick, simple, effective intimacy blind spot assessment. Don't let one more day pass having your blind spot sabotage ideal, thriving partnership. Take your power back and discover your blind spot today at my website, allanapratt.com. I adore you. Until next week's show, all my love.